Ladies and gentlemen, it's the end of another week, and things are looking crazy.
Lot to talk about.
I'm sick of every week things look freaking crazy.
Yeah.
I just want to have one week where I'm like, look, things are pretty mellow.
We're just getting desensitized. Chaos is a new norm.
Yeah, you're right. I think we should move to Hawaii.
Ah, some may say that.
Some may say. I'll tell you what, we have an article that is more on the bright side today where we talk about the happiest states in the United States.
Okay. Can we call ourselves the United States anymore?
No, we're
The
the
divided
divided
states.
states.
Divided states.
Yes.
We have to rename our country.
What's funny is it
I'm
kind
going
of
to trademark that.
you should. It kind of seems like
Do it before Tim releases the episode.
Yeah, it's already on Twitch. Someone's on Twitch right now. And it seems like, oddly enough, to some degree, the divide of happy and not so happy runs through that very division.
Yeah.
Of red and blue, some may say.
Yeah.
That we're obviously going to cover. First things first, we're going to talk about the Breonna Taylor Attorney General announcement. And then we're going to just run the gamut of topics. We got everything today. We're talking about this Amazon bike. We're talking about reselling. Big win in the reselling market. We're going to got a little inside tip on why it seems like young people have so much disposable income at the moment. Some say it's theirs. Some say it belongs to elderly people.
Some say Kanye should be on the board of companies.
Some say, Kanye says he should be on the board of companies. Some say he shouldn't.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about his tweets. We got a lot to cover. I hope everyone's ready. Buckle it up. We got a good one.
Big new segment. Tim,
Yep.
our resident Wall Streeter.
Call him Retail Tim.
Retail Tim. He's
Yep.
got a new segment.
Gives his big, taking 1,000 of my hard-earned dollars
Spending it.
and spending it.
We'll see how he chooses to do that.
Okay.
All right, let's get into it.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, group chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
Hey guys,
Hello.
it's the end of another week.
What day is it?
Fru's Day.
I actually forgot.
It's today's Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So here we are. We're here on Thursday. This episode's out Thursday night. Shit's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So here we are, fresh off of another one of these big racial issues. The Attorney General announced the results on how they would be pursuing criminally the Breonna Taylor case. The results are no charges for anyone but one.
Yep.
One police officer is charged with, I believe, wanton endangerment or something.
Yeah.
Wonton.
Some
Yeah.
sort of Asian treat.
Yeah. I thought that was a soup.
Yeah, they're going to give him wontons, it seems like.
Yeah.
For firing, because they showed that the way that he just let off his whole clip, which ended up with bullets in another apartment, that was a little crazy.
Yeah.
So the whole rest of the thing, the miscommunication, the wrong entering, all these different things, the killing of a innocent woman, all good by their standards.
Yeah.
But hey, guy, watch where the bullets are flying next time. Let's keep them in the one mistake.
Yep.
So, as you can imagine, there's complete outrage. Louisville is protesting like crazy. 2 police officers were shot.
Yeah.
The rest of the country is protesting. I'm guessing this weekend we'll see some real protesting. But we're just back again. I mean, there's a lot to talk about here, but my thing is I'm just dumbfounded. I would love to understand. So I would love to be told, because my understanding is kind of like they were at the wrong address. There's some misinformation. There's some confusion over whether they announced themselves or not. Doesn't make sense to me why a guy who wasn't running from the law would shoot at police officers knowing they were police officers. I mean, that's a death sentence. So I don't understand why this guy, her boyfriend, would shoot unless he was truly confused about who it was. I would love to understand how you legitimately can have these charges Because to me, and I'm never saying that anyone should be, the same way no one should be killed innocently, no one should be charged if they're truly innocent. But with everything going on in the country and all of this tension, the fact that there's no give, like there's nothing. If you're looking for justice, there is not one shred of it.
So here's the problem. I'm gonna give you some background.
Yep.
Daniel Cameron is the Attorney General of Kentucky.
Got it. That's Mr. Wonton.
That's Mr. Wonton himself.
Okay.
34 years old.
Recently elected, only a year ago.
A year ago.
It's an elected official position.
Republican or?
He's Republican. He's black. He is the protege of Mitch McConnell. He is on the short list of Donald Trump's Supreme Court nominees.
As of 12 hours ago.
No, September 9th.
Okay.
September. They knew this was coming.
Yeah, that's
this
true.
was all planned.
When did this happen? When did the murder happen? Obviously before September.
Oh yeah.
No, the murder was back in spring.
Yeah, long
Just
time
to clarify.
ago.
Yeah.
So now we're starting to build a thing here.
So here's what people need to realize. This has nothing to do with the case. This has everything to do with an election. This is everything to do with what they are perceiving as law and order. This is Trump's team. This is what Mitch McConnell, this is why those are scary, scary people, is Daniel Cameron is not acting alone. He is acting on behalf of the president. And guess what happened? Everything played into their hands. They gave you this cockamamie charges that we know is all bullshit.
Yep.
What happened? Protests broke out in Louisville. 2 cops get shot.
Yep.
I mean, it's playing into Donald Trump.
Yep.
That's why, like, I know everyone's looking at the details. Do you know what I saw MAGA people posting yesterday? That Breonna Taylor and her boyfriend are drug dealers. And they've been dealing drugs. They knew there was a sting operation to get them down. This is what, like, the fake information.
Yeah.
So I went on the rabbit hole. I was like, really? This is interesting. They've never been arrested for anything. They've nothing to do with anything. And there's no true, if Daniel Cameron knew Breonna Taylor was a drug dealer, he would have fucking said that stuff. Because you know what else he was saying? I don't want to hear from influencers or celebrities because they have no right to give
said,
opinion.
mind your business.
Yeah.
And
You're
he
not
used
Kentuckians.
the buzzwords. He used law and order.
Yeah.
He said, we don't care about celebrities. We don't care about what influencers think. The most confusing thing to me is just basic logic. Take race, take politics out of it. Louisville settled with the family.
Yeah.
For $12 million.
So isn't that an admission of guilt?
That was my whole point. Like, that is an admission of guilt. That is
$12 million, not $12,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
And that's
If the police officers were truly innocent, you tell the family to go fuck off.
Yeah. Take us to court.
Yeah.
We'll prove that this was warranted. Here's what blows my mind and what's actually scary to me is even if you're Donald Trump, if you look at this and you don't think that the best thing to do is give everyone a give, let's give them one. And you think that the right strategic move is to say, fuck that, law and order, that's scary.
Yeah, that's his persona, right? He triples down on every stance. When has he switched?
But that means war. That means what you want is to say, fuck you, no charges. We know protests are going to go crazy. We know people are going to shoot cops. Better for my campaign, and we'll just law and order the shit out of all those people.
In theory, they're inciting violence.
1,000,000%.
well, I mean,
But
look.
the violence is
And then
that might as well be a campaign
And then
rally.
they take credit for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, because that's why when I saw what happened, obviously I actually turned on the TV because I knew he was about to go on do his press conference, Daniel Cameron. I was like, and then I saw what he was saying, and I was like, I really want to dig into like, who is this guy? What is the agenda here? Because he's trying to make it sound like he's a black man. He understands. Then when I look up, Mitch McConnell's protege, Donald Trump's Supreme Court list. Guess what Donald Trump says today? Daniel Cameron is a star and has handled the Breonna Taylor case very well.
I just want to...
That's why, like, you can't even look at the case as what it is. It's not black and white because Daniel Cameron is a puppet for Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump. So that's why the civil litigation was so different, because they actually looked at the evidence and looked at the situation and was like, oh, fuck,
Yeah, because it was a no-knock warrant where 11 witnesses, I don't know if you caught that in the press conference, a New York Times reporter said, I went and interviewed 12 people that lived in that apartment building. It's a small apartment building. Yeah. So everything's in close quarters, right?
Yeah.
Of 12 people, she said only one of the 12 heard the cops announce themselves. So 11 people in this apartment building never heard. And this is a stand your ground state, by the way.
That's what I don't get, is if the police wrongfully enter your apartment with guns drawn and you stand your ground, that's a no? That's not like... It's like if
weren't they plainclothes officers? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they were.
So it's not like
but
you're flashing
but
your
guys are you're arguing over we should have done our homework on who this guy was. If I had known this information 24 hours before, I was like, there's no way. Because guess what? Politically, it played into Donald Trump so well. 2 cops got fucking shot.
Yep.
That's the worst case for Democrats. It's the worst. It just shows you, like, electing the attorney general, electing district attorney, electing
all these things matter.
They matter, and now they are running the country, because what happened? We have now protests. We have violence happening in Louisville. You have police officers who are probably like, you know what? Donald Trump stands up for the police, right? Mm-hmm. Police, firemen. These are very powerful groups of people that may just start.
And I know you unfollowed him because he was giving you too much anxiety. Clay Travis today blamed athletes and celebrities for cops getting shot.
Got it.
Because of the way they're tweeting about social justice. You guys are the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Got it. Cool.
So they've literally flipped this whole thing under their own rule.
It's wild.
They're in power.
Yeah. I don't listen. Like we've ran. The only thing we can compare is we've ran businesses with people, and sometimes there's disagreements. Sometimes people get bent out of shape. Sometimes it doesn't even make sense to you as the one leading the group of people. But I can never imagine a situation where, when I saw the level of unrest in my organization, that I don't give a give.
Yeah.
After a summer of protests, I don't say, you know what, I think the right thing to do here leading up to an election is meet in the middle. We need some charges.
Yeah.
We need these people to feel like, law and order, but like not murder.
Yeah.
The equivalent is a business owner. Let's say your business runs into tough times. Let's say 5-4 Young and Reckless, running into tough times.
Yep.
We don't make payroll, no one gets their checks, and we blame the employees. That's your fault.
Yeah. You blew it.
You blew it.
You should have done, our sales are down because you're a shitty designer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know when those times come, and you know that sometimes in the most frustrated of times, you might even feel that way.
Yeah.
You might feel like, you know what, person asking for a raise in these tough times, this is your fault, Pete.
Yeah. Yeah.
But my point is, you know that to run something, you gotta.
Yeah.
Like this guy is choosing a war type stance to me. Yeah. It's like, go ahead, protest, shoot cops, loot, whatever. That's just better for my campaign. And at the end of the day, I'm just gonna march in cops and tanks and National Guard, and we're gonna shut your shit down anyway.
Yeah.
That's scary.
He's just doubling down, tripling down on his strategy. And unfortunately,
it happened yesterday. He was asked at his daily press briefing, are you going to be in support of a peaceful transfer of power? And he said, we'll see what happens. I don't know.
I'll tell you the one thing, that was obviously very scary when I saw that, because that is inciting violence amongst his base.
And it's telling half the country
we're not
the
going
election's fraud.
Yeah, already.
It's set up already.
That's what they're playing. That's the whole strategy, is like, okay, when it's all said and done, my guess, Joe Biden wins by the delta of mail-in ballots.
Yeah. Well, they're going to spin it that way anyway.
So
if he wins anyway, they're going to say it was without the mail-in ballots, he doesn't win.
Yeah, because the majority of Democrats vote by mail-in.
Yeah. So you don't count those, he doesn't win.
Mike Allen, who's Axios' political reporter today, he's pretty objective. He doesn't lean either way, at least in his reporting. I don't know what his personal beliefs are. He said, according to polling today, as of today, it's equally as likely that it's a Joe Biden landslide as Trump just winning.
Yeah.
That there's states that are, the demographics have shifted.
Yeah.
So objectively, the election, if everyone voted, a Democrat would win today.
Yeah.
That's the fact.
Yeah.
It's just whether they show up to vote or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It is scary.
Mitch McConnell at least came out and said there will be peaceful transfer.
Let's see.
Well, at least he said it.
He also said
he's
in
also
16.
only done what Trump said.
I
in
agree,
2016, he said we're not going to nominate a Supreme Court justice in election year. What is he doing now?
Who has the
Sure.
power to say, Donald,
But
pack it
here's the
up?
thing.
On November 5th, let's see what he says.
That's fine.
November 10th.
I'm okay with it after the election. You want to cause, don't incite this bullshit pre-election. This is the scare tactics that they are good at. Like what Trump is doing, he's giving his base 2 months to go fucking wreak havoc on the country.
Yeah. And the Democrats, Biden had such a financial advantage in fundraising, like it's not even close. So if you think about the demographic shift, the amount of money, more money Democrats have than Republicans, like this should in theory be a landslide.
Even Lindsey
without
Graham,
trickery.
Lindsey Graham was on Fox News saying, Jamie Harrison, who's running against him, has more money than him. He's raised over $100 million for a South Carolina Senate race.
I'm telling you, man, the data's there. Let's just see what I would just be blown away.
I said it right.
I'd honestly be blown away if all votes are counted that Donald Trump is the winner. I'd be
blown away.
Just blown away.
I won't be blown away at all. I will not. I think there's so many quiet, the silent majority. I think there's so many.
But here's the actual majority.
But do they have like $1 billion more, the Democrats?
I know, but we learned before, like the tweets and the connection to people and the way he spins shit is priceless. Like you can't, if you put how much it costs to have the media reach that Donald Trump has through his tweets, it'd be hundreds of millions that you have to add to his campaign.
Sure. Yeah, that's
which
fair.
Joe Biden has zero of that.
Yeah. That's fair.
I'm just scared to death because I won't be blown away. And I think that 2 cops getting shot in Louisville is
gold.
It's equally as impactful for Trump supporters as Breonna Taylor's the cops not getting charged. As it
for
is
sure.
the left.
Absolutely.
So we just now matched them. So we had one. They just matched it.
Yeah. That's why when I saw that 2 cops
My
were
point
hit,
about the votes is the demographics have shifted in this country. They continue to in swing states.
I'm just worried about who leaves their fucking house to go vote. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
Because I think these motherfuckers that are out vote Trump parading,
They're
we're not
voting.
doing that.
Yeah.
You don't see a Biden parade anywhere.
No.
You don't see anyone leaving their fucking house just to go support our guy.
No.
They're
definitely more passionate.
And I just want to also note when I said our guy, I'm also pissed, still really pissed at the Democrats that you knew how devastating this was in 2016. You had 4 years and this is the fucking guy. And I still think you're going to get to a debate and this guy's going to get smoked.
Yeah.
And he's still, like when he got off the plane the other day, I don't know if he's made another statement, but they asked him, what do you think about this? And he said, I haven't read it yet. It's just like, come on, bro, we need you because this guy's calling a guy a star and putting people in place and having the next Supreme Court justice. He's shaking and moving. You're asleep on a damn plane.
Yeah.
You know? Wake
like
up.
He got off the plane and goes, they don't call me Sleepy Joe for no reason. I was taking a nap
Let me
on
tell
this
you
plane
what,
while our
slept like a
country was
baby.
burning. But yeah, and the other interesting thing that I've noticed is there's obviously a lot of calls for voter registration. And we have I think California is till the 19th, I think you can register to vote.
Mm-hmm.
I went on a walk, and I'll just call him out, Caesar, the other day. We went on a hike.
Yep.
I saw you posted it.
And I asked
registered.
him, I'm like, are you gonna, we talked about the election, and he's like, what do you think? And I started telling him my opinion. And
No chance he's voting.
And I'm like, are you voting? He's like, yeah. I'm like, are you registered? He's like, no. I'm like, can you go get registered today? So it dawned on me, because he is aware there's an election, because he did ask me about it.
Yeah.
He's aware that it is very important.
Yeah.
But how many people are like Caesar that are aware and not going to register?
So millions. And also, let me tell you something about Caesar. And Caesar, I'm sorry, I love you so much. And luckily, the only people who know who we're talking about are people that know us.
Yeah.
I was driving around the protest during protest time, and I saw Caesar and his friends walking towards the protest. And I said, what are you doing, bro? backpacks, supplies. He said, we're medics. We're going to make sure if anyone gets pepper sprayed, if whatever, we're there to take care of them.
No way.
Yes. So amazing. My point is, the same young person that will even go be a medic and go jump in the line of pepper spray to help protesters is like, I didn't get around to registering yet. That's my point. So he's active.
Yeah.
He's out here fighting the good fight. But
because the protesters aren't going to vote.
no, think about the young people that just tweeted the black square on blackout day.
Yeah.
You think they're registered?
Yeah.
If Caesar's out here dodging rubber bullets with fucking ace bandage, you think this guy or gal is registered?
Yeah.
But you know who's registered? The fucking Trump voting parade.
Oh, yeah.
Every one of them.
They are so pumped to go to the poll and cast that Trump ballot.
They're going to poke that hole.
Yeah, they are, man.
Donald J. Trump!
They are, bro.
But so I mean,
they're going to go and just fucking scream racial slurs while they walk out.
They will and just nail that hole.
Like go to, they go, you fucking.
Yeah, just pound that hole and scream
I know, and I think
slurs.
the Democrats know that. So John Favreau from the Pod Save guys crew did a live Instagram with Kendall Jenner talking about voting. So, I mean, they know the disadvantage we have.
Yeah.
Still worries me though. I don't know if Kendall Jenner.
Yeah, we saw with the whole Pepsi debacle.
We'll see where she stands.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I think young people still won't vote, but I still think the demographics have shifted.
Yeah, I agree, and I hope you're right, and whatever. But it's just nuts. I feel like there has literally been 25 times over the last 4 years that I've thought like that can't happen. Like Breonna Taylor, there will be charges. They might be lackluster. We might not be super pumped. There's no way that they'll just walk scot-free. They did. Like it's mind-blowing to me. And I feel like it's so dangerous.
I mean, think about it. 200,000 people have died in the U.S. of coronavirus. What does the average person have? 10 people that care about them? What do you think?
Yeah.
5 to 10 people?
That's fair.
A couple million people know that this was all created by mismanagement of a virus.
Yeah.
I don't think a couple million people know that.
No, I mean, I don't think.
I think a couple million people know the virus is deadly. I think.
No, I'm just saying of the people directly affected by this.
Some of them probably don't admit it. I think there's so many people that think, man, China sent this to us.
I mean, I'll say, I know liberal people that don't take the virus serious. They also don't. They're part of the problem too.
No, I'm just talking about the people who actually died. Forget the people that believe.
I'm guessing
I think
some of the people who died
everyone is
don't know that it was mismanaged. They just think China fucked me.
Yeah, maybe.
And now I'm dead.
No, they've convinced themselves like, damn, pre-existing conditions.
Yeah.
Fuck.
You think you went to that Oklahoma rally or whatever it was? You caught COVID, you're checking out, you think you're like, Trump fucked me. I think you're going to your last breath. With
Yeah, Herman Cain.
China and this damn extra pounds.
Yeah.
All right. What's this CNN article you have on and about racism has cost America $16 trillion in the last century? Is that just adding up all the impacts?
Yeah.
I think it's more theoretical that if minorities had access to mortgages the way white people did in the 80s, you missed that whole wealth creation. And it's examples like that. That's more systemic. So it's like a ballpark number. So you can't really just say, 16 trillion assigned to racism. But there is a number because minorities were not given mortgages in the 80s the way white people were.
Yeah.
That's been proven.
Yeah.
And anyone between, in 1980s and 2000, the biggest wealth creation was real estate and home prices.
Yeah.
And I think the key takeaway from it is because it really outlines kind of all the systemic institutional racism and the financial effects of it. And what people who are part of the problem of systemic racism don't understand is if you had just given everyone the same opportunity, we would all make more money. That is, at the end of the day, what do we really do? Are you really racist or you just care about money? Like, most people care about money. If we
just think about it, just how basic was it? We gave $600 stimulus to everyone, or $1,200, and all of our e-commerce sites were on fire.
Yeah.
So you uplift people that are disadvantaged we all benefit as business owners.
Yeah.
They go consume.
Yeah, and that's why I don't
A
understand-
restaurant's going to be more packed if a poor person has money.
Yeah, and the same thing, if you had given out home mortgages to everyone who deserved one, we would have increased real estate prices. It would have exploded.
And that same banker would have made more fees.
yeah,
And that's the deeper thing that nobody talks about is, and this is what really gets me if I had to say one thing about Candace Owens or those people, is, so you're right on it about giving people money and look what it did. But if you can give people, what's even better is the opportunity to make money on their own and build their self-esteem and build their, you know what I'm saying? Like teach people how to make money, you can change it forever.
Right.
And there's this effect of like just being forgotten about, or just like when you go through a process of not being able to get home loans, or we're imprisoned more, or the fatherless home rate is more, or these things that just feel like a mountain that you can never climb out of. That's the like intangible part of all this that no one acknowledges.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's simple as if we gave underprivileged communities 5x the budget of a suburban community for schools, right?
Or even matched it, I think is the problem. I think the problem is we don't even match it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Overcrowded
Because
classrooms.
5X, now you're going to get into all lives matter, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying match it.
No, but in underprivileged communities, the ratio of students to kids isn't what it is when the neighborhoods we grew up in.
Not at all. A lot of those things. Those are the stats that, once again, like a Candace Owens is an expert at. If you looked at those stats, I don't know them by heart, but it's just unfair.
Yeah, it's such basic logic. If you have 50 students to one teacher versus 25 students to one teacher, those
No
the
debate.
50 kids aren't going to pay attention to anything. I don't
Yeah.
care. You can put it in an all-white school, put 50 kids in one teacher.
There's no debate. It doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, I mean,
It's
I
like
just,
virtual learning. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I just see it with my own kid who goes to a school where they are really, really well. The teachers are incredible. Everyone's so engaged. It's like he's going to have an advantage in life. It's unfair.
Yeah.
It's completely.
Totally. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, one thing we do here on group chat is we don't stay in the scary news too long.
Yeah.
And today's episode, we figured because that news is so bad, we're going to jump really quick. We have a list of the happiest states in the U.S.
Yes.
There we go.
Bring that morale up.
So if you're looking to turn it around, if you're like, man, enough is enough, I'm pissed, things aren't working out here in Nebraska, where do you go?
So interesting you say that.
Oh, no.
The happiest state in the United States is Hawaii.
That kind of makes sense.
Which makes sense. Like
The locals there don't seem to be bothered by much. They want to surf. They want to be in the sun.
Gone
They
fishing
want good vibes. Mahalo.
Yeah. And it makes sense. Like the Hawaiian lifestyle, like we've all gone to Hawaii many times. I mean,
I'm
the
happy
locals
too.
don't really give a shit about, they don't seem like they're troubled by anything. They're like just in their own world.
Our dad lived in Hawaii for a few years.
Happy as can be.
He was very relaxed and happy.
Yeah.
He just look out his apartment window, watch cruise ships come in and out, and that's all he needed.
Yeah.
Not a bad life. I get it.
Another Royce shout out. Royce lives in Hawaii.
Yeah, he's happy.
He looks like he has a good life
I mean,
over
he
there.
hangs out with you for no reason.
I know. Like,
That's
why
a
would you do
happy
that?
guy.
Yeah.
And I feel like even most Americans that go to Hawaii, like they're still like, you want to be in the Four Seasons and like whatever,
yeah.
but like Hawaiians,
Yeah.
they're chilling.
They're
And I
chilling.
think I'm sure there's a psychological effect of just seeing water calms you down.
That is-
yeah. The
that's-
weather
that's
matters.
proven
Yeah.
too.
And the
Yeah.
island life.
Yes.
Island time, man.
Plus, I think there's something about when you just worry about us. I can drive to the other side of this motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't do that here.
No.
You feel like you're a part of a way bigger.
Yeah.
Waterfalls, greenery, ocean.
I might move.
Yeah. So the rest of the list is quite interesting. So number 2 is Utah. That's truly just Mormons. They're happy.
Yeah,
They're a happy bunch.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have like 7 wives.
Number 3 threw me for a tailspin. Minnesota.
Fuck no.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way.
Yeah.
No,
I would not have guessed
absolutely
that.
not. I don't know.
Number 4.
There are
Who
a
made
lot-
this list?
You know, there are a lot of Fortune 100 companies weirdly based in Minnesota.
That's fine. I've been to Minnesota. It's
Yeah,
not.
I've been to
It's
Minnesota.
not up in the
Minnesota,
top
it was
10.
freezing.
Yeah, it's
It's
too
like
cold.
like 15 degrees.
If it is cold,
You know why? You're so cold you can't even be angry.
yeah. No,
Your
you
face
can be
can't
angry.
even-
You can be inside, deep down.
Minnesota.
Number 4 is New Jersey, which I also
Again, bullshit.
That seems like
feels-
fake news.
Maybe because sports gambling is legal now.
Yeah, maybe that did it.
It's like Italians, Indians, they're all really happy.
Yeah, a lot of
people.
Indians in New Jersey.
Number
Okay.
5, Maryland. I don't really know. I mean, I spent a lot of time there actually.
Well,
Sure, I could believe that. 6 is California. Believe that. Then the more important part of the list is the bottom 5.
Oof.
Some of them may call them MAGA states.
Really?
Unhappiest.
Oh, shocker.
Let me give you a couple. West Virginia, number 50. That coal never came back, huh?
It didn't.
Arkansas.
Arkin who?
Yeah. Oklahoma.
Big rally.
Louisiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, Alaska. Bottom 8. And then you have Oregon, which I get because it's just raining. And
Yeah,
kind of like-
it's
I mean, the fact
Oregon.
that all
Fires.
of those states that are like, middle America are below Alaska.
yeah.
You know, Alaska should be 50 every year.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we know Alaska's 50. So, like, what's 49?
What's worse?
Yeah.
I mean, this is the problem with the country. These people, unfortunately, 42 and down are left behind. That's why.
Yeah, that's why
But
they're all
that's
that red
also why they
hat.
resonate with Trump. I think it's also natural when you're really angry and pissed off, you like to hurl insults at people. You like to talk shit.
Yeah.
And who's better at talking shit than Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's so attracting to throw on a red hat, join a gang of everyone else that's pissed off and
Yeah.
hate people who don't look like you.
Well, ironically, you're right. It is like a gang because gangs thrive in disenfranchised communities.
Yes. Yeah.
And the entire South, the Midwest at this point is feeling like a disenfranchised
It's like,
community.
I don't want to compare the two, but when you recruit terrorists, you go to poor areas
Yep.
and radicalize them because they have no better option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why the one big thing, and I'm going to go ahead and bash it, that is a mystery to me is Orange County.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
sunny, weather's nice, they're doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they are MAGA as can possibly
It's
be.
crazy. You saw, I don't know if you saw that woman, Sophia Chang. She was at a Newport Beach like seafood restaurant. And this guy just walks up to them. They're American. Go back to Wuhan.
No.
The Keeping Up with the Karens account
busted him.
boasted it. He works at Prudential in Orange County and he lost his job. I mean, like, what type of psychopath do you have to be to walk up to two strangers and tell them, go back to Wuhan?
In America in 2020. Like, you know what I'm
that's
saying? This
insane.
isn't new. Like
This is in 1963 Orange County.
So this is my theory on why Orange County, Newport, despite wealth, ocean, sun,
please tell me.
California is a very diverse state.
Yeah.
And these people have made their money.
Yeah.
Not in my backyard.
Yeah.
You minorities coming in my mansion area. That's the issue.
So
They
there's
don't-
one spot.
They're like, we need to keep one area.
Where do the
Keep-
whites go?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Because, I mean, California, across the board, almost every neighborhood's diverse.
Yeah.
It is crazy. I went there recently.
Even Orange
It
County's
feels-
very diverse. Orange County's, I mean, you go to like Newport Coast,
Newport's-
we know so many Indians that live there.
I think I still think that it's small. And few. I mean, sure, Fullerton, yeah, there's Indians.
Yeah, and I'm not talking Fullerton. I'm talking about Newport Coast.
Newport's pretty white, man.
It
It
is
feels
white.
like if Get Out was real,
yeah.
it'd be filmed. It'd be in Orange County.
So
Yeah, I mean Newport.
you were in Orange County for something. Was it all white?
Scary, white and MAGA.
Yeah.
So it wasn't diverse.
No, not what
That's
I
my
was
point.
seeing.
Yeah.
And it's scary too, because you know that these people have money and like power, and
Yeah.
they should be educated. You know, until you're like, what's going on here? Like, I
Yeah.
get it when you're in Arkansas and people are pissed off and they're waiting for the factory to open back up.
Yeah.
Orange County, you're pulling up in a Bentley, you're throwing on your MAGA hat
so-
and just striding through this place with no mask. What?
So I would have to if you call a spade, it's just pure racism for
I think
white
that's just more
manga.
like white supremacy.
Yeah.
I would say white supremacy.
Like you genuinely believe that white jeans are better.
I personally love white denim.
Yeah.
I wear them after Labor
in the
Day all
summer,
the time.
you do.
I wear white denim for Brian's annual party in Nobu.
Yeah, white denim's a must at Nobu Malibu.
I love white jeans.
You know what? This transition our ads. Check out Menlo Club has a sale on new white denim.
You must prove that you are white to purchase that.
White on white. Okay, just a quick toe dip back into some slightly scarier news. What's this article about Vladimir Putin offering back channel, lanes for witnesses? This is all tying into Joe Biden's son and his weird business dealings.
So Hunter Biden clearly did something
Freaking Hunter.
back in the day out there.
He's getting accused of basically bribing Ukrainian political officials for business deals to
Is
get
this
done.
while Joe was vice president or in between?
I think it's
like later.
2015, so
Yeah, he was there.
Tail end, buzzer beater,
Yeah.
business deal
Yeah, buzzer beater does this business
before
deal.
Dad leaves the White
Yeah.
House.
So rightfully so, should be looked into. The problem is, it is clearly, so Time magazine shared an article saying that Putin's people, allies, are back channeling to America about this case and Trump and Putin have built this relationship over the years, and Russia and Trump have built this relationship over the years. And it is, they're still our enemy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And to be sharing information about American citizens with our enemy, it's just fucking stupid.
Yeah.
yeah. First of all, you're Hunter Biden. Your dad's the vice president.
What are you doing?
One of the most powerful people in America. Why do you need to go to Ukraine to do business? Do you know how many American companies would do business with you?
Hunter.
Your dad's Joe Biden.
Reel it in, Hunter. What he thought was, this is the final year. Do all the shady shit.
Yeah.
Dad's old.
He's never going to run again.
4 years later, Dad's sleeping his way to the White House, and you fucked him.
Don't you think he has to be so pissed if you think about the financial crimes that the Trump family, Kushner family
Yeah.
have openly committed and not denied? And he's like, I can't just get one crime in?
No, they're better. They're just better. They're going to expose it better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, there's montages of clips of Trump just refusing ever to say anything negative about Putin. He just won't do it.
No.
It's just, you have to believe Putin has something on the dude.
Oh, for sure. You got him elected.
He has to.
Forget just getting him elected. I think it's just dirt.
Yeah.
Well, so, apparently there's pee-pee tapes,
Yeah.
and that'll do it.
Yeah.
Got pee-pee tapes of me, I'm saying nice things about you. Let me promise you that. All right. And then this one, here we go. I just want to say I would legitimately be scared to fly into China right now. This may be irrational, but just with the amount of stuff we've said about China, I'd be a little, when they were checking the passport, it's welcome to China, I'd be just a little on edge.
Yes.
The next article that we're about to read will make sure that I am absolutely nervous.
So we've been hearing about the internment camps in China going after, there's a region where there's a lot of Muslim Chinese people.
Yep.
And there apparently now is 400 camps that have happened over the last 2 years. We don't know how big these camps are. There are now pictures that are leaking that show that they are clearly built, essentially prisons, and they are trying to re-educate and reprogram these people. And there was a video that I saw of them forcing Muslim internment camp members drinking alcohol.
And forcing them to eat pork, which if you're a devout Muslim, you don't eat pork.
Yeah.
And just to be clear for the listeners who maybe aren't fully familiar, they're just rounding up Muslim people,
Yes.
throwing them in here.
Yes.
And this is because of the fear that all Muslims are
Yes.
radical.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got it. And this seems very Holocausty.
It is very Holocausty. This is why when when I have such a strong view of like ending TikTok, because we as a country have fought for democracy like since the country was formed. That was like the whole premise of the country.
Yeah.
Is to push democracy around the world because it is actually a better life for everyone involved. Nobody fucking stands up to this country. It is a joke.
Yeah,
literally nobody stands up to it. I'm liberals, conservatives, basketball players. Nobody fucking stands up to this country.
Yeah,
it's a joke. And like the thing they care about a lot is money, and TikTok is worth a lot of money. TikTok influences young Americans all day, every day. Fucking end it. Show some sign of we're not going to go into a trade war because we can't afford to.
I mean,
at least trash their best
Do you
assets.
really not believe China, their engineers behind TikTok, that are sitting in China, aren't being instructed to figure out subtle ways to influence American young people? Mm-hmm. And they're probably A/B testing it like, oh, that works. Now we see more of this. Yeah. We got that message across. Go ahead. Sorry, just imagine over time, you keep giving them all the data, what resonates with every American, they can subtly affect the entire country.
And that's why what I want to say, because a lot of people have come to me, my friends or people that I know, have come to me not understanding the TikTok thing. What's the reason? Imagine if you go watch, even though Anand hates it, Social Dilemma, wrap your head around, oh, got it, the manipulation, blah, 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 and now just tie that into a foreign government.
And times it by 100, because it's that much better.
100, and they are now the ones pulling the strings. So as fucked up as it is that Mark Zuckerberg is doing that for profit,
Exactly. Mark Zuckerberg is just doing it to make money.
That's it.
China's trying to take over the fucking world.
Yes, they're the long game. TikTok's the beginning. Yeah. That's the first salvo.
Yeah. But that's what's so
I don't even know what salvo means.
Opening salvo. It's like your opening shot.
Okay.
That's the scary part, is when you look at those conversations about what Facebook and all that has done to the country, maybe that it's to blame for a lot of this radicalization in our own country and stuff like that. They have no agenda politically. Only make money.
Yeah.
China has every
political
agenda.
Yeah.
It probably doesn't even give a fuck about money when it comes to comparing it against that.
TikTok's a write-off.
It's a pawn.
They'll spend $30 billion on TikTok if they can control what they feed young American kids.
Yeah.
They'll spend $100 billion.
I mean, they're locking up people into camps because of their religion. That is, the last person to do that was Hitler.
Yeah. And nobody even really knows it, man. I'm telling you, your average American does not know that.
No, they have no clue.
Okay. All right, how about this? You want to talk about...
let's just be fair. I don't think there's going to be much difference if Biden wins.
No.
No.
I don't think there... No. I
think they may get 400 down to 390.
Because you want to know what?
Yeah.
You want to know what's kind of crazy is I don't know if, like, with the majority of Americans, a like pro-Muslim campaign would even stick. I'm not saying that Americans by nature think that Muslims should be in camps. I think that's insane. But I think a majority of Americans are kind of unsure about the religion as a whole. That's what I think. Yeah. And I think that when if you tried to rally everyone against that, like if they were locking up Christians in China, we'd be enraged.
Yeah, but we'd be at war.
And naturally, if you think about just any country, any person, you're naturally selfish, so you care about what's going on in your life.
Yeah.
So if the U.S. wants to, I mean, honestly, make a difference, you just do it privately and don't even talk about it.
Yeah.
Because if you really do care about civil rights issues, because that's not going to resonate with the Wisconsin voter.
We're getting behind a Muslim travel ban. That's what gets us riled up.
Yeah, exactly.
You think we're going to be like, yo, over in China, you see what's happening here.
Yeah, go to an Ohio factory worker and tell them about Uyghur Muslims. I can't even pronounce the name. Do you think they're going to be like, you know what? I'll vote for Biden because he's going to unlock those camps.
Be like, they're not here, right?
Yeah.
You said they're in China? I'm all
They're
good.
the ones who give us the virus, right?
Yeah, right? Okay, got it.
But I understand all that. I think the bigger thing here is like, I don't understand how that problem actually gets solved at all. It seems like unsolvable to me.
It is unsolvable because it's politically unpopular for both sides to care about it.
Yeah.
If this was happening in Europe, we've all been to Europe. Not most Americans haven't been to China and never will go.
Yeah. Now, never we're going.
Never.
Nobody's going to China.
Keep in mind, most Americans haven't been to freaking Europe.
Right, but at least they have white skin.
In Europe?
Yes.
Yeah, you're saying, yeah.
If
God,
Italy
I can relate to.
if Italy was locking up white Muslim people,
Yeah.
we would shut that down.
As long as they don't start talking with their funny accent.
And that pizza keeps coming.
And those French fries.
Oh my God. All right. Speaking of social media, an absolute maniac on social media is Kanye West.
So much going on.
Oh, you know what? Before we do that, Pete, ad time. So Pete, run the ads, then we'll talk about Kanye West.
Sick. All right, guys, welcome back. If you don't know, let me remind you who it is. It is your boy Pete here alongside Anand. And today we're going to make this real simple and real quick. The only sponsor for today's episode is our own selves, because why? We have the most money in the world and power. So why not just advertise on our own podcast? Well, instead of running an ad here, we're going to ask you for some help. We're going to make a big push. I want you to go over to Twitter. Make sure you tweet out this episode with the link. You can get it shared whether you're on Spotify or on Apple. Go ahead and get the shared link. Head over to Twitter. Tweet out why somebody should listen to the episode. Include the link in there and go ahead and tag us. And we're going to be giving away a pair of New Republic shoes.
I love it. I'm here to audit Pete's ads. Some
Yes.
people say Pete's ads are terrible. Some say
it's
they're
the
bad.
best.
So I think tweeting out the episode is better than actually screenshotting because there's less friction. You just click on the link.
Right.
Go straight to the episode.
Yep.
A lot of people don't have swipe ups. Some people don't have swipe ups.
Yeah. But if you just go over to Twitter, you can tweet it right on out and feel very, very important.
Get us some listeners.
We need more and more listeners. Why? Because you have already heard on today's episode so far how great the content is. Even on a live stream the other day, somebody said, why is this stuff more mainstream? Well, because not enough people have heard it. So help us out. Do a favor and have a chance to win a pair of shoes. All you have to do again is go tweet out why somebody should listen. That'll just be a part of the tweet. Tweet out the link and make sure you tag us at group chat on Twitter. And I'm going to pick a winner. I'll pick it on Monday. For Monday's episode, you'll get a shout out. Just make sure you're following us as well. And there it is. There's the ad.
Back to the episode.
Here we go.
Okay, we're back. D, your friend Kanye, man.
Kanye.
I didn't even realize, to be honest. He's been on a Twitter rant. I feel like usually he goes on a Twitter thing for a couple days. Maybe Chris gets a hold of his phone. Maybe some meds get brought. I'm not sure what happens, but he chills out. Feels like he's been on one for quite some time now.
He made some big claims yesterday.
Okay.
Here
I
we
saw
go.
Big Sean was happy.
Here we go. Ready for the first one?
Yep.
I am wearing Jordans till I'm on the board of Adidas. I'm not releasing nothing on Gap till I'm on the board. So I'll give you my positive and I'll give you my negative.
Okay.
Positive, he should have negotiated that shit when he signed these deals.
Yeah.
Because
Just similar to his record contracts.
Yeah.
Don't sign the deal if you don't want to do it.
yes.
And if you haven't been watching, he released all of his record contracts on Twitter. He's screenshotted every one.
So here's the thing. The positive is that I do believe someone like a Kanye, it doesn't be him, but like someone that generates so much revenue and interest in a brand and has that power should be on boards of companies. No doubt in my mind. I think the boards of corporate America today are a fucking joke. Like when you go look up who's on the Nike board, go look who's on the, like these, it's literally like every Fortune 100 company, it's littered with clowns. Yeah. Big ass clowns that don't even know anything about the business, don't understand the business. There's so many people that I talk to that are I'm on the board of this. I'm like, what? Mm-hmm. I wouldn't let you be on a charcuterie board, let alone a fucking board of charcuterie.
Yeah, I prefer a skateboard.
Skateboard. Yeah. And these people are on boards of companies. So I agree. Kanye West should be on boards of a company like Adidas, company like Gap. Problem is, it's too fucking late.
Yeah.
You can maybe get on the next cycle. It doesn't just work. Like these are publicly traded companies. You can't just say, I'm coming on the board tomorrow. There's processes, there's bylaws, there's this.
I agree with your comment that people of influence that have mega influence that are mentally stable should be on boards. Kanye's proven that he should never be on the board of any company because you cannot have this nonsense the way he acts.
So
on the board of a company.
I agree.
Yeah.
So
I just looked at Nike's board of directors. Michael Jordan's not on the board of Nike.
exactly. You should see who's on the board.
I just
might
went,
have
Tim
won, right?
Apple's on the fucking board.
Really?
Yes, not this Tim.
Yeah,
Maybe Jordan-
Tim Apple should be on the board of Nike. I'm
That's
okay
fine.
with that because it's a consumer product, luxury
Yeah.
brand. I get it. There are so many clowns on the boards of these companies. The fact that these people who created all the wealth. Here's the problem that
I pray to God, Nike has asked Michael Jordan to be on the board, and he's refused and said no.
no fucking chance. Nike has asked Michael Jordan.
He
to be on the
is
board.
the reason Nike exists.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's nobody would be wearing that fucking logo if it wasn't for Michael Jordan.
I agree.
It's all Kanye wears.
And yeah, and here's the thing about what the Kanye issue is.
We have to dig into this. I want to know Michael Jordan. I may stop wearing Nikes if Michael Jordan was never offered a board of directors seat.
Why would he say no? He's a businessman.
I know he's a businessman. Maybe he didn't want to fly to Portland 4 times a year.
He's flying there to collect a check or something. They give him a big check.
I don't know. Yeah, I can't guess here.
I don't think he was offered. I think these companies are full of shit, and I think that's part of the problem.
But I just think this is what I think. Very
Do you know how many
strongly.
shitty? Sorry to interrupt. Do you know how many shitty VC investors sit on boards of massive companies? Shitty investors.
We should make a list of all
Forget-
the shitty people on boards.
Yeah.
That could be your next newsletter.
Yeah. It'd have to be 400 pages.
You know what the problem is? Once it's like crossing the velvet rope of a club. Once you're in the nightclub, if you can get into one, you can get all of them.
Yeah.
And so once you get on one board, you start board hopping and collecting. These guys make, if you sit on the board of a major company, you're collecting like $300,000 a year to show up to 4 meetings.
And plus stock.
Plus stock.
Option to buy
So if you're on
stock.
4 boards, you're making $1 million to do nothing.
Yeah.
That's a good life.
But here's my point. I do agree that the boards need some work. But I also agree Kanye, we cannot keep rewarding Kanye for this fuckery because every person that still looks up to Kanye somehow is going to think that is how you make your way through.
So I agree. So here's a challenge. Adidas was in the fucking doldrums until Kanye showed up.
True.
Nobody. I had not been on Adidas.com since the internet started.
You probably never been
never.
on it. Yeah.
When Kanye wore White Ultra Boost, I was like, what's that shoe?
Yep.
And I piqued my interest. And then I wanted to get some of the shoes. And I got into Ultra Boost then. And I started looking at all these other products.
Yep.
If I'm the CEO of Adidas, maybe I can get away with not putting him on my board.
Yeah.
The Gap hasn't released any clothes yet.
Yeah.
And Kanye doesn't need the Gap money, clearly, right? He makes enough money off Adidas. Adidas can say, look, Kanye, in the next board cycle, we'll work with you. We'll put you on the advisory board, something. I don't know if the Gap can afford to not get Kanye to release his product.
But I blame Kanye 6 months ago before you signed the deal.
That's my point.
Say you need a board
If
seat.
Kanye said, I want a board seat, I agree with Adidas totally. He should have been on the board.
Yeah.
Totally. That's how you make your way through this world.
Yeah.
Not by signing a fucking agreement, posting it on Twitter, and throwing a temper tantrum.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I know, but if he flukes up and gets on either one of those boards, he's a god.
I think he will. I think he will. I think one or the other.
I think one of them is going to cave.
One of
I
them's
think
gonna
the
cave.
Gap CEO, new Indian woman as the Gap CEO, she needs those fucking clothes to come out.
She took a gamble.
The only way I would think it would be allowed is because due to COVID, you can't have in-person meetings, and in a Zoom, you could just mute his ass.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But he's on the board.
He's on the board. Doesn't
He's on
matter.
the board. But he's just screaming.
Can you imagine if Kanye's on your board? Will anyone get to talk?
Yeah.
No.
No, zero chance. You have to have a separate Kanye meeting where he just gets to scream for 2 hours.
It's
It might
almost
be worth it.
I think the only way it works is if you're like, hey, Kanye, the board meeting starts at noon and the real board starts at 11.
Yeah.
And then let him just
You do
rip
that trick. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I would do if I was Adidas, I would say Kanye's on the board, and actually we decided that we're going to make all of our board meetings public. We're going to go live on our Zooms, and it's just the Kanye meeting. It's not the real whatever. And there's an Adidas, Kanye's Ideas. That's a public thing. That'd be the biggest media impression thing they ever did.
Yeah.
You just got to Kanye-ify it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it really bums
Can
me
you
out.
imagine the Twitter storm if he finds out the real board meeting he's not invited to?
Yeah. It really bums me out though, because he he claims racism and stuff like that. And while I think racism is very alive,
Yeah.
I don't think that is it.
So if the Gap came and let's put Michael Jordan on the Gap board,
Yeah.
then I think that fits the requirement,
Yeah.
but doesn't give him the power. Because is it him that wants the power, or does he truly want black representation?
You know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same way, like you're fighting he was fighting and ranting about owning your masters. And then it comes out, not only from a couple up and coming artists and producers, like, hey, I was going to sign to you, but the deal you offered me was horrendous.
Yeah.
And then all these artists like Big Sean, Tiana Taylor, all these good music artists don't own their masters.
No. But he said now he's giving it back to him. So let's see.
But I think that's just
But
like,
he already
even
profited
know,
off of them for a decade.
He doesn't even know what he's doing. He just wants the attention and he probably just wants his masters from Universal or whoever he's signed to.
I mean, my guess, these corporate board structures are so like...
They're flawed. They're stupid.
I know, but my point is you can just carve out and make like a secondary board.
A lot of companies do that. There's a board
advisory.
of directors and board of advisors.
Just
They
have a
could throw him
Kanye
on a
board.
board. He didn't say, he just said, I want to be in the board.
They could create
He's
a
on
new
a
board
board.
for him.
Yes.
Here's a board.
Yeah, surfboard.
There's a surfboard right here. Put him on a board. Put him on an Adidas board. Yeah, it just bums me out, man. I think that what he's doing with the election should be like, I don't even know how to compare it. I think we should compare what he's doing to the election as like a very serious offense.
Yeah.
And we don't. We just say Kanye's crazy.
Yeah.
And then I think on a lower level, when he jumps in on racism and on I should be on the board and on blah, 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 it does a disservice to learning the real process. Yeah. As much as boards can be fuckery and we joke about it, as much as CEOs, there's fuckery in that, there is still a way to make your way through this world that is intelligent and smart and does lead to results. It's not all Trump. And this just to me shows young people like, oh, got it. You just fuck around and rant and fucking that's how go Kanye.
Not to pounce on our buddy Caesar, but it's similar analogy. You want to be a medic for protests. Great.
Yeah.
Voting matters more.
Yeah.
But you actually have to, it's not sexy.
Do the work.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't want to do the work. You don't want to go register. You don't want to go read a pamphlet on who each candidate is and make a decision. Yep. It's reason why Kanye is so popular still, because that's how the youth think. They're like, it's fun. You just tweet and talk shit and it's as easy. Yeah. If you really wanted to be on the board of Gap, you call the CEO privately and say, I think it'd be a good idea and you'd get great press out of it. You put me on the board and let's announce this.
And they'd probably do it because they know, oh shit, that is
a great that's idea. Hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But tweeting.
Pick up your phone and tweeting it. Whereas if you announce if there was a press release, Kanye West has been added to the Adidas board, it'd be like, whoa, that's great.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Huge.
Or they could they could make it a PR event like you suggested.
Yeah.
It would be huge. And people
would
care about the Gap.
About how you did it and how Adidas thought it was the right move and you guys had to sit down.
I think Gap would benefit the most. It's the most dead brand around.
What do they have to lose? I feel bad for that CEO. Man. I would love to just say to her, I would love to just have 5 minutes and say, how about Kanye, huh? And just hear what she must be waking up, going to sleep on edge with a Twitter open.
Yeah, I mean, they just came, they backed up the Brinks truck of options and warrants.
But they had to have known this was a huge risk. It's not like he's been the most stable person.
I know, but the Adidas thing was an example that actually kind of panned out. Yeah. Everyone's making a lot of money.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think you could have guessed this would happen.
Yeah, I need to be on the board.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see what happens. Let's do a little Throwback Thursday. I'm going to throw us back to, I don't know, April, May.
Okay.
Not only are we back to, protests and absolute madness that has no end in sight, but coronavirus cases are on the rise. Woo! So, we flattened the curve. We started the curve on a downward slope. Things are looking good. We said, no. We have not had enough yet. Get those numbers up.
The only V-shaped we're seeing is the coronavirus. The coronavirus
going back up. Yeah, we got sort of a reverse end going. What's going on? I mean, the one thing I will point out, I just want to point this out. I'm not saying anything more than I'm saying. I looked at the map.
Yeah.
With where the cases are increasing, decreasing, and stabilized. And it looks to me like a lot of the states, including, I'll say, Texas, where people were like, you know what, I like it here. They have less rules.
Yeah.
Increasing.
Yes. Texas, Arizona, Colorado, Utah, Wyoming, Montana, Minnesota are the worst.
And I'm sure it's correlated that colleges are back in session in a lot of these states.
Guaranteed. Those are all the places, I hate to say it, that are a little bit looser on what you can and can't do.
And, you know, you take that whole region, which clearly where the laws are looser, those governors have said they're not going to move one thing backwards. They have to keep moving forward, right? Because they've promised that politically. So any regression would make them look weak. So they're not going to do that. Then, maybe not in California, but the weather is changing.
Yeah.
Flu season is upon us. Sniffles.
Did you guys get your flu shots?
I didn't. I need to, for real.
Oh, you're like Caesar with registering.
I am. I'm on here talking shit about Corona all day, and I can't go get a damn shot. You guys both have them?
Yeah, of course. When you have a kid, you have to. The pediatrician's like doesn't even give you a choice.
Yeah.
Where do you go to like CVS or something?
Our pediatrician did it.
But you can go to
CVS. You could go next door, the pharmacy next door.
All right. On the way out of here, I'm going to go get a shot in the butt.
Are they even open? I think they're
they're open.
Okay.
They've been open the entire Corona time.
Fighting it through.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the real problem is that you're seeing this uptick, and we just know the moment people start sneezing. Like, I haven't seen people, sneeze and cough and,
No.
nothing. Because it's been the summer and everyone's been social distancing.
I mean, in my elevator on the way leaving to come here, a guy you could tell just needed to clear his throat.
Yeah.
And he just knew he couldn't.
Yeah.
And he was in the elevator like...
But people are getting looser. I saw someone, a Postmates driver, walking into my apartment building, no mask. I've had at least 3 Postmates deliveries in the last 2 weeks where they didn't have a mask when they showed up.
Too loose. I don't
People
like
are getting
that.
loose.
I don't want you around my food if you're that loose.
Yeah, I went to a restaurant the other day. We didn't eat there, but we walked in. Everybody all of a sudden, the workers looked up, all put their masks back on, but they're all standing behind the bar without their masks on.
Wow.
Too loose.
I mean, Taylor just posted a video of a gym in Nashville.
Nobody's got a mask.
No mask.
No mask.
It looked like January 1st, when everyone comes in to ready to
Really?
pump.
Yes. No mask. Everyone just working out.
Yes. He was the only one wearing a mask.
Too loose. I don't know, man.
And as we get into colder weather indoors, people will be gathering indoors.
Yep.
I mean, I know, like, I'd be stressing.
I think we've all gotten looser in people we see and stuff, but we're doing it in a safe way. Like, if we see people, it's outdoors.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Other than the people we regularly see.
Yeah. I mean, the sketchiest thing that I do is come here.
Because you're not eating out.
You go to Staples and do all that nonsense.
Yeah, you love your Staples.
Let me tell you where there's no people.
There was no people.
If you don't want to see a person,
Go to Staples.
Go to Staples. I'm just saying,
Maybe you
between
should do your morning walks in Staples.
telling you, man.
If you want a good workout from an empty,
like at
large
lunch-
space,
Yeah.
go to Staples.
Yeah. Run around.
Do some sprints.
They won't even notice. I mean, I think Pete is probably the most like out and about person I'm around.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm
We're
not eating
safe.
out, so I don't really.
We're safe over here.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I know that if I woke up with the flu, I'd be pissed. Number one, I'd be pissed. I'd be scared to death.
Scared
And
as
I
shit.
also would not be able to come in here until you got tested. But let's just say 2 weeks,
Yeah.
right?
You know what the shitty thing about this is if you wake up and you have anything that you're kind of concerned about, it's 3 days, even if you're negative. 3
Totally.
days of your life, if you're going to be a responsible citizen, you
Totally.
cannot do anything, do anything.
If I wake up with a little bit more, like when the fires were happening, I was just a little dry.
Yeah.
I wake up with a little bit of a sore throat. I'm still thinking Corona first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And Fauci came out and said, he goes, a vaccine will not be 100% effective and will not be taken by 100% of the population.
I mean, I don't even think 50% of the population is taking it
No.
at this
Yeah.
point.
And
20% and it's 40% effective.
And by the way, that means we're going to have masks for years to come.
And
Yeah.
If you
Not
want
in years to come.
So head over to cleanmonster.com, pick yourself up.
Yeah.
There it is.
Well,
Cloth mask.
I think the scarier thing is that we're going to have maybe some slight reopenings, but in general, this is our life the next 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, we're not going back to Poppy in the next 2 years.
You're not going to like any crowded.
Like I'm not gonna be able to go to Staples Center and watch the
You'll
Lakers
never
next
get
year.
to see LeBron play again. How about that?
That's sad.
Because I think 2 years is optimistic, to be honest.
You're
Really?
I do, because I think when you tie, you know what I didn't consider is that the vaccine isn't 100% effective. So if you start hearing stories about people who had the vaccine and got corona,
But
here's the upside
they're treating. Here's the other thing. If let's say you get corona tomorrow,
Yeah.
okay, and you get the symptoms,
yeah,
and they are severe.
yep,
You're admitted to ER, right? There's enough treatments now that if it was so severe,
yeah.
that you would live.
But what I'm saying is I'm not scared of dying. I don't want to go to the fucking ER.
You'd rather die.
No, you just don't want to catch it and have
If
to
you
go to the
told
ER.
me, if we wiped away our whole memory and you said there's a thing going around right now, you will be fine, but you're going to probably end up in the ER. It's going to be pretty bad for a couple weeks. You're not going to be able to see anyone. Like sitting alone in your house for 2 weeks after going to the ER is fuck. I don't want to do that.
I guess
that's
here's-
not worth a Staples Center.
So you'd rather. No, my point is if you knew the worst case scenario, if you were to get it,
Yeah.
would you would be alone in your apartment for 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Can't see your girlfriend, can't see your friends, can't do anything. You could accept that.
No. If that's the case, I'm not going to Staples.
Yeah.
I'll go to Staples. I'm not going to Staples Center.
Yeah.
I'm not going to Delilah
Yeah.
inside. I'm not doing any of those things.
The next time we get to Staples Center, it'll be renamed because Staples will be out of business.
Yeah, and it'll be like a Northwest concert.
I'm gonna bring out some of the people you may know from
So
your
you're
past.
saying I'm more
My dad.
For real.
So you think I'm more likely to see Bronny play live than
Yes.
LeBron
You'll
ever
never
again?
see LeBron James ever again.
Yes.
That's it.
But here's
You may
okay,
never put eyes on LeBron James in person ever again.
Ever again.
That's certainly possible. But what about this scenario? So there are people saying, some people are saying, a lot of people
A
are
lot of
saying
people are saying.
that as the virus keeps going, the viral load goes down. So
Yeah.
mortality rate's already significantly down than what we thought it was in March and April.
Yep.
And if the viral load goes down, the symptoms are less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, don't you think this whole time, instead of vaccine, we should have just been like, can we do a Tylenol for cold? Something for corona? Like, we know it's not going to cure it, but it'll lessen the symptoms. And then you could just say, fuck it, everyone go get it.
Yeah, I mean,
'Cause if you knew you could just, you get it, you have to pop a Theraflu in, and you're fine in 2 days.
They got to be working on that though, right? Because that's what the hydroxychloroquine and all of these things were like scrambling to try to find treatment.
I think what they've been working on, because they thought the mortality rate was so much higher,
Yeah.
is how to keep people alive, not how to lessen the symptoms. Because if you lessen the symptoms, you don't have to quarantine people for 14 days and shut down places, because you get it, and you actually get a cold.
But you'd have to believe that if you're a drug company, the amount of upside in a corona treatment, knowing that it won't be fully gone next year. So they have to be trying.
Because if you're a pharmaceutical company, you'd rather create the next Theraflu, which is going to be bought forever, than the vaccine, which kills the product completely.
Yeah, true.
And these are the worst people on the planet. We talk about banks. I think pharmaceutical companies are way worse than banks.
Way worse.
There's
Banks
some
are
fine
just
people
trying
over there.
to. Banks just want you to be dead broke. Pharmaceutical companies want you to be on the edge of life.
Forever.
That's where the most profit is.
Yeah,
It's
just
like
like,
almost dead.
You know what? You have AIDS, but if you take this $200,000 a year drug,
Yes.
you may live a very long time.
We won't get rid of it.
Yeah.
But we can sure as hell keep you on this
Yes.
pill. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that it could be potentially way gnarlier than we still know. I think we're all
But do you think
still,
there's a scenario where I just described it, where the symptoms gets
Yes.
Yeah.
so
I
less
agree.
severe
yeah.
that everyone's like, fuck the
I
quarantine,
think
no
that
more
happens.
14 days.
I
That's
think
pretty
that
likely.
happens next
Yeah.
summer.
That might be the most likely.
I think that happens next summer. Where I think humanity will move forward next summer. I don't think most businesses will feel comfort, because unless there is a clean waiver of liability, why would Staples Center reopen and they have a game and someone gets it? And there'll always be that small risk of death. And until there's clarity on this topic, I just think,
Because it's not sustainable unless we give another $5 trillion in stimulus money to American citizens, that once you get this, you're out for 14 days.
No.
That's not sustainable.
yeah.
No. And if
We
you're
can't
old
live
and
like
have
this.
diabetes, you die.
Yeah.
And that's still kind of the thing. Like, I think it's safer, but
Well,
still
I
not
think
safe for grandma.
Some people, but that's like, look, at the end of the day, there's going to be a good chunk of the population that's just going to go on with their life. They're going to treat things how they were. If they get it, they get sick and they go through the symptoms and they're okay with whatever the consequence is. The problem is actually people like us who actually aren't going to change our behavior till it's crystal fucking clear. We're actually hurting, I think, the economy more than anyone.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to do anything.
Not going to travel.
We're not,
Yeah, really, we're all take, no give right now, you know?
Yeah.
We're selling stuff, but we're not buying anything.
Yeah, because like we for us, even for me, the risk of getting it and just being out 2 weeks, forget death. The 2
Telling
weeks.
you, I agree.
I don't want to do it.
That's
don't
my.
want to do it.
That's not a sustainable way to keep the country going.
No.
So
I'm okay with it.
I know you are, but you can't have a factory worker get it and then he can't earn for 2 weeks.
I know.
You gotta take care of the people.
We're not. We don't even have a second
The
stimulus.
companies have to take care of people then.
They're not going to.
Yeah, they're not great.
A contracted worker, they legally don't have to.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got to keep moving. But we'll be talking about this for a long time to come.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
Remember the good old days when all we did was talk about Jeff Bezos, his dick pics,
Yeah.
Revolve.
You know, I had
You know, it's all we used to talk about. Revolve around the world, Jeff Bezos.
Coachella.
That was
It used
it.
to be all a group chat.
I mean, right now in September, all I would be caring about normally is football. You know, that's it probably. I wouldn't have another thought in my mind. I actually had I went for a run and I was getting ready to come here. I was in the shower and I laughed out loud and I said, just in happiness, I laughed that the most troubling thing in my day this morning was someone left our fantasy football group chat.
Yeah.
And that honestly, like that drama of that was like, I was like, I have not woken up a morning where I literally I always cut to recap like what's going on in the day, you know, how I'm going to approach the day.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, the only thing I've been thinking about all morning is that this guy left our fantasy football group chat.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't actually have anything to think about.
Yeah.
And I was so grateful that is the most important thing on my mind right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, that's not realistic and things are gonna, you know, whatever. By the afternoon, I'm sure I'm gonna be dealing with something else.
Yep.
It's just for that brief moment, felt good.
Yeah. Okay. All right. One more thing on Corona. This one actually hurts quite a bit. I'm from the Midwest.
Yep.
And one of our almost religious structures of the Midwest is Olive Garden.
Yes.
Grew up on Olive Garden, eating plenty of those breadsticks. They're unlimited, in case you didn't know. Celebrated many family occasions at Olive Garden. We have a little statistic. We love statistics. The pandemic has slashed the sales of the beautiful flagship Olive Garden in Times Square.
I've been there. It's amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
By 94%.
Yes.
You can't even give away breadsticks.
No, I mean, this weekly sales are usually $300,000 a week there.
Sheesh.
They're down to 18,000.
18,000.
Yeah, a week. They're doing. He's at a good day is $2,500 in takeout.
What's that rent?
Millions.
They're not paying it. They can't.
And then, so it just shows like a city like New York, cities like LA, San Francisco, Miami, Chicago, they're so heavily reliant on tourism. Foreign tourism on top of that.
Yeah.
Then you couple the fact that you can't even go inside.
You can walk blocks of New York City without hearing English.
Yeah.
That's so wild.
And now
And now it's not. Now it's all English, and you can walk blocks without hearing.
And the interesting in New York City on September 30th, this is going to be a real interesting situation. 25% capacity in New York City restaurants, which is going to be 50. No one's going to.
It's probably 75.
I mean,
Who
think about
knows
how
what's
small
up?
those average New York restaurants are.
Sounds like a spike to me.
Yeah.
I mean, no way. And all those guys have been dying to like stay in business.
Yeah.
You have a glimmer of hope. You're packing that thing.
Yeah.
It's about to be winter. You have to be inside.
And think about how much back rent all these restaurants owe.
Oh,
Like, how do you even get out of this?
I don't know.
I don't think you can.
They just have to give it. They have to forgive it.
Not at the rate that we're talking about.
Yeah.
No, but the banks won't forgive the mortgages that the landowners. It's so complicated.
'Cause that's what I'm saying. Is at the end of the day, if there's just no one, there's not even anyone to fill it.
Yeah.
So if you, like the banks normally, would be that harsh. But what do you even? It's that or sit empty.
Yeah.
If 25% capacity is nothing.
Nothing.
Especially in New York.
I think they're just testing it to see how bad the cases get.
Yeah. They just got to put some. You have to have some plan, so they have a plan.
I mean, what's a New York restaurant make money on? The last 5 tables?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, you have 25%. There's no way.
Yeah.
All right, we gotta keep moving. Let's talk about some cool news. Goat, the sneaker app, resale platform, just raised $100 million. So let me just tell you one thing. It's not all doom and gloom for everyone.
Nope.
And I'll tell you another thing. Oftentimes when I leave here and go home, I drive through the key streets. One of the streets I almost always drive down is Melrose. The only sign of life, and it is on and popping like never before, is all of these resale stores.
Yeah, it's nuts. They all have lines.
So
Round
nobody
two,
has any
cool
money,
kicks.
but if you get a little bit, go get yourself some Yeezys.
Well, if you want to go down a rabbit hole of how these kids have money, look up EDD scams and you'll quickly learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think also sneakers, we were just talking about this before the podcast, how baseball cards are just absolutely on fire, that it's like now being viewed as a store of value?
Yep.
Is that sneakers now? Because that's the only thing I
sneakers
can
has
think.
been like
No, but like it's truly becoming like an asset class. Not just, there's random sneaker collectors that you find the one guy who owns 300 Jordans. If Goat's raising this kind of money, I have no idea what their financials are. It's triple what their previous valuation was, which everyone thought was rich at the time.
1.75 billion.
Yeah, and their last round was at 550 million. So
Like, is
they
that the
must
broke person's art collection?
Yeah.
Like the broke person's Picasso?
Yeah.
Is like
I don't think kids
Check
are
out my
actually.
closet.
Yeah.
Other
the
than-
Dior Jordan
Other
one.
than like Anthony, who actually wears his shoes,
Yeah.
does anyone actually wear these?
You know, all that I've heard, I don't know, but all that I've heard is that the justification for spending so much money on them, if you're like a kid, a young kid with a job, is you can clean them up and resell them and like make some of it back.
Yeah, like if
So
you
that's
have a
how they
hot
justify
I don't know
it.
how many of these are actually getting worn. I think they're just getting traded like baseball cards.
I wonder. You might be right. And I noticed too, like the big new thing that everyone did that because now resell culture is just so big. They just announced the new PlayStation and Xbox and like the reselling. Like those are all sold out everywhere the first second because all these kids went and bought 10 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid kids also did the whole Zoom thing where they bought the Xbox One X instead of the Xbox X.
What's that?
Where Zoom, when the Zoom went big and everybody bought the wrong
Yeah.
Zoom, they did the same thing with the Xbox. They bought the old Xbox.
Oh.
Not knowing
was a
that
One
Xbox is
X,
owned by Microsoft.
Not the new one. So
That's not gonna
Amazon
sell on
sales just
StockX.
like,
Yeah.
stupid idiot.
Well, listen, it looks like, this hedge fund, was it a hedge fund?
Yeah, D1 Capital out of New York. It's
They
also
saw what
funny
we're
that
seeing.
a hedge fund's jumping in the late stage reseller marketplace.
I mean, these Goat and StockX must be on fire.
Yeah.
It must be completely on fire.
and no one's going anywhere. So that's my point.
Yeah.
You can't even, you're buying hot shit that you can't wear to a hot party.
Oh, they might be going to a party. There's a lot of parties going on.
Yeah, I know, but in general, it's not everyday life. So how can your transactions be that much higher if it's not just traders? It's like merchants.
All good points. The whole thing, I'm confused by. Because I'm confused by, other than credit card scams, which is big. Rodeo's cracking.
Yeah.
And Melrose is cracking. And the only stores that are popping aren't the discount. It's the $300 shoe store.
Yeah.
So
I got to
money's
give
flowing.
our close friend J-Dub some credit. He had a great tweet last night. The housewives of EDD is going to be insane.
Is EDD credit card scamming?
No,
Yeah.
so it is. It's essentially people are. So I heard this was one of the things that people are like approaching homeless people, buying their Social Security off them, and collecting the unemployment.
And getting them delivered to Airbnbs and homes for sale and intercepting the mail.
Yeah,
Like, an Airbnb's not, that's pretty smart.
Really smart.
it's really
They know
smart.
an Airbnb's not booked. They just say, send it there, and they just go and grab the mail.
Yeah, I think scamming is at a crazy
Yeah.
high. If you tied in like just home burglaries to like the scamming category,
Yeah.
and then credit card scamming, and then this fucking shit,
Yeah.
and all the stuff in between, if they're figuring out something this intricate,
Yeah, I've talked to
mean, if-
several people recently about the level of EDD unemployment scamming is just on another planet.
But what your earlier point, drama, was like if those same kids spent all that energy trying to learn a skill, they would make money
more.
off that skill forever.
And make way more money.
And way more money. If you can figure out going to a homeless guy, getting it sent to Airbnb, intercepting the mail, getting a prepaid credit card, that's a lot of thought.
That's the same as getting goods made in China, getting them shipped here, building a Shopify.
I mean, that's more thought than the average Google employee is doing on a daily basis.
Yeah, it is. It's more entrepreneurial than the average, you know?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, and then last but not least, we announced, and this was big news for you, Dee. We announced earlier in an earlier episode that Amazon was here to take out Peloton.
Very excited.
Very exciting news. They had partnered with, what was the company called?
Echelon.
And they were releasing a $500 Prime bike. Mm-hmm. Great idea. Sign me up. We talked about let's buy one Peloton's worth of Prime bikes. Yep. You know, we could have done an episode from Prime bikes. We could have really had a whole thing. Turns out that was a bit of a scam.
Yeah.
Because Echelon made a bike called the Prime bike.
And sold it on Amazon.
Had nothing to do with actual Amazon. Amazon said, yo, this isn't our bike. But too late, Echelon sold out.
This is the equivalent of an EDD scam.
Yeah, some would call this good bunness.
Yes.
And others would call it an EDD scam.
Yeah, it's rewarded in corporate America to finagle, and they sold out of the bike. You can't get the fucking bike.
And there's nothing really Amazon can do. I mean, they didn't break any laws, right?
All Amazon said is like, you got to change. They're like, look, they sell on the platform, but we were never in a formal partnership.
Yeah.
What Echelon did was pretty much say, if you buy this bike on Amazon, you will get free 30 days of your thing. That's their company's idea.
Yeah.
It's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
It's beyond
Scam
brilliant.
it up, guys.
Yeah.
That's a legal scam.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Not mad at it.
Big win for them.
Big win. And, you know, it's one still stab at Peloton.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go, kids. There's a lesson in the thin line between a legal and an illegal scam.
Yeah.
Yep.
One ends you up in jail. The other ends you up on the NASDAQ.
Nicola.
Okay. What's Tim? We got to do segment or something?
Yes.
Jeez.
Okay, so our resident, how long do we have? We got 10 minutes, Tim, so you better get it popping. Our resident stock expert, Tim, who some may say is the almost living incarnation of a young Retail Joe.
Yes.
You know?
Retail Joe's son.
Yeah, Retail Joe's son, Tim.
Hi, son.
Retail Tim.
I liked when you were comparing me to being on the board for
Yeah, you're right.
being the other
You're right.
Tim
Well, things
Apple.
change quick. So Tim is going to give us his stock picks.
Well, here's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I'm putting up $1,000.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yes. I'm putting up $1,000. Tomorrow's trading opening, I will buy $1,000 of whatever he's telling me to buy right now.
So this is the moment when he tells you what the picks are.
Yes. What are the picks?
And
Tim?
and then what is the end result?
We split the profits.
After how long?
He tells me when to sell it.
Well, as long as he
even
still
better.
works here.
Yeah. I mean, if that goes to $100,
He'll stick around. Well, he'll
Some
stick
might
around
say
and get
he'll
the
have
money.
no job.
He can just stick around because he has to get the payday. Okay. All right, Tim. What do you got?
Well, I did some homework, looking at some stocks. You see, here's the way that I approach stocks.
Dude, what did he
is I
say?
go to Robinhood and I hit the little zoom out button. You look at like the 1 year, the 5 year.
Wow.
Right?
Wow, this guy.
Trending.
Real
That's what it is.
historical analyzed
Yeah.
data here.
Zoom out.
I
is what
noticed
it's called
almost
Zoom
all
Out
of them.
Incorporated.
Yeah.
You like when the arrow just goes up.
Yeah. Well, I noticed that, most of the stocks I looked at went up and then had a dip in like March, then went up again,
Yeah.
more steeply this time,
Yeah.
and then had another dip very recently. So there's a lot of potential stocks that we could put this money into.
Yes.
I thought about Comcast because so many great shows are being taken off of Netflix and off of Hulu and going out to the Peacock, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think people are going to start getting the Peacock.
Yeah.
I love peacocks.
Good theory. Good theory.
Come 2021. But that might be more of a long game.
Okay.
I want to see something exciting,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So I
Well,
think
do
the
we.
way to go is to stay tried and true and hit Apple.
Oh, wow. Tim Apple.
Tim Apple, all 1,000?
All 1,000.
Okay.
Wow.
So when trading day opens tomorrow, no matter what the price is, I'm buying $1,000 of Apple.
I think it's a sure bet.
Wow.
Can you tell us why?
As a long-time shareholder.
This is like the earnings
That's a
call.
long time
Somebody who's
shareholder.
had years and years of
Yes.
Let's
Experience
call
and
this the
knowledge.
earnings call for Zoom Out Incorporated.
Yeah. Well, we're down now. I have seen highs. Yeah, I'm part
We
of
as a
the Apple
shareholder.
community.
You're an owner.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm part owner of Apple. You know? I feel some kind of ownership over these products.
Yep.
So I've seen my money double. I've seen my money double, and I've seen it drastically fall back down. But I've never gone red. I've never lost money on that stock.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
tried and true American brand.
I am up
Big
$7
Cupertino guy.
right now. I was up $40 last week or 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And I have a feeling it's going to skyrocket.
So my only criticism
Just
is
one.
You didn't double your money. You were up 42%.
Well,
Some may say that's not
Some
doubling.
may say. A lot of people are saying that's doubling.
yeah. But we came
Fuzzy math.
close.
That's the only
We came
criticism.
close to 50%.
That's not doubling. He trumped us.
Hey,
Hey, everyone would
lot
have
of
thought
people
that he
are
doubled
saying-
his money.
I did. I didn't even ask. I thought like, wow, good job, Tim.
I know. You're like, did Apple double in the last 6 weeks?
That's what I was like. When did Apple
The
become a
stock split.
$4 trillion company?
All right. So opening bell. Dee's got 1,000 on Apple, and we'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah. Okay.
So you get almost 10 shares.
Almost 10 shares.
Good
Unless
deal.
it plummets tomorrow, I can get more.
Yeah.
You never know. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's wrap it up. We got winners, losers content. Dee, who's the winner for the week?
My winner is Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots. He was cleared of all massage parlor sex charge.
Whoa.
It is a victory for anyone that wants to go to the massage parlor and get a handy.
Get a hand
Yeah,
job
get a
in
nice
peace.
rub and tug.
All right. What? Why?
I mean, come on.
Come on.
All right.
I mean, we're
That's
not
it?
going to go after Breonna Taylor's murderers. You
But
think
we're gonna go after Robert
Kraft's hand jobs? Come on.
All right. Anand?
My winner is Michael Jordan and the NASCAR community. So I was a guest columnist in the world famous newsletter that Melrose Street Journal and Group Chat puts out,
Saw that.
and I wrote about it.
Yep.
So Michael Jordan teamed up with Denny Hamlin, who's
He's a current racer, right?
current race. I'm getting to, hold on. I explained
Sheesh.
all this in the newsletter.
I've had
This
a
So
big
I'm
guy
gonna explain
wants
it.
to steal your thunder.
I was dealing with the fantasy group chat.
There's a lot of controversy. A 40-year-old male left a fantasy group chat over an auction trade.
Okay, well, let's finish the podcast, please.
Could he be the loser of the week?
You might be mine. So Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin, very famous, successful NASCAR driver, current driver, have formed a new NASCAR team, and Bubba Wallace is going to be their driver. So Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin are putting up the money,
Yep.
and it's the first black majority-owned NASCAR team with the only black NASCAR driver.
Yep.
And Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan are close friends.
Yep.
And they've been friends for years. They both share North Carolina roots. They hang out, golf together, gamble together, all that. And I think it's a huge win for NASCAR. And it's going to bring so much relevance. I would never have ever considered watching NASCAR on a Saturday. I would tune in to see Jordan's team.
Yeah.
Why not? If Michael Jordan's in the stands
Yeah.
and they pan to Michael Jordan just the same way they pan to Jerry Jones for Cowboys games, that's part of the experience of watching a Cowboys game. I think it's going to open up to such a big audience. And if you think about the mandate corporate America has on supporting black activism, think of the sponsorships they're going to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to
Nike.
make so much money on this team. It's a great business investment for both of them. I think it's going to be great for the sport that they're finally going to have some diversity and attract viewers that never would have ever watched. And the most interesting thing is Bubba Wallace and Denny Hamlin are going to still be competing against each other.
Yeah.
So it's the equivalent of LeBron James owning the Cavs while playing for the Lakers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that was true. You could do that in NASCAR.
I wonder what the equivalent to courtside is at NASCAR. You know, like is Michael Jordan up against the fence?
I think pre-corona,
In the pit.
you're in the pit.
It's the pit.
Yeah, you got to be in the pit.
It's the pit. Okay.
I watch it. I've seen the Cars movie 17 times, so
So you
familiar
know.
with the pit.
You know about the
In the
pit.
pit.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's a good one. That's really exciting. Exciting stuff. The guy still can't get a board seat though, huh?
Yeah. He can own a NASCAR
He's
team.
like he's a multi-billionaire.
Yeah.
And Nike can't put him on the fucking board.
I mean, you didn't watch The Last Dance? Been through a lot. All right. My winner is the Apple Watch.
Oh.
And the reason why is I just realized I didn't normally I'm pretty into all the product releases and all that stuff. I didn't watch it, but I caught up on it later. And Apple, I don't know if they had been developing this or what, but the Apple Watch, I think it's 6, the new one coming out,
Yeah, 6.
includes a pulse oximeter.
Yeah.
And that is where it simply scans and tells you your blood oxygen level. And right now, like as people get corona and stuff like that, one of the big things I've actually talked to a couple of people who had it is they're just walking around with a pulse oximeter on their finger, making sure, because that's how you measure when shit's getting real, if that thing's in your lungs. And right on time, I don't know how they did it, but Apple included a pulse oximeter in there.
I'm glad I'm a shareholder.
There you
Not
go.
yet.
Because he's about to go through the roof.
Oh yeah.
An owner. So good stuff. And I really think you can see the future of how that Apple Watch could just be a built-in doctor. You know what I mean?
It's an amazing device.
So good for them. All right, who's your loser?
My loser is Daniel Cameron, the Attorney General of the
Big
state
loser.
of Kentucky. He is a big fucking loser.
Little puppet bitch.
Yes.
Little puppet ass bitch.
I have nothing else to say about him.
Yep.
Thank you.
It's already been said. Anand?
My loser is day traders. You're slowly losing your king.
You're talking to two of them.
I know. El Presidente is not tweeting about day trading as much as he used to. He's
Yeah.
still doing a little, but the president of the day traders, Dave Portnoy, is fully on sports gambling
Oh.
because the Barstool Sportsbook.
Oh.
And he's shifted his focus for the most part. He does a few videos of day trading, but it's not the same zeal that he had 4 months ago, 3 months ago.
Because
And
stock market's tanking now.
yeah, he probably was like, you know how much money I'm making on the sports book? What the hell do I care about day trading? So
I'll tell
you
what,
lost
with
your
all
president.
With all the buzz he had, it's crazy that he wouldn't keep that up, you know?
I
I
think
guess he just doesn't
Sports
care.
gambling's just bigger.
it's
Yeah.
bigger.
He doesn't
like,
care, yeah.
And you think about the amount of sports that are going on.
Oh my God.
It's insane. There's golf, there's basketball, there's NASCAR, there's football, there's tennis.
Yeah.
I just feel like Barstool could have their own Robinhood. I feel like Barstool could have their own DraftKings.
Yeah.
Barstool could have their own fantasy football thing. Like, I really think the brand is that big.
And it's that versatile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gaming. They could have a gaming
Barstool,
team.
they could have
FaZe Clan, Barstool.
they could have all the consumer products men use.
Yeah.
Wouldn't they use a Barstool shampoo over?
Dove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Barstool bar of soap.
Yeah.
It's a stool. It's a stool bar instead of a bar stool. All right, I'm going to quit now. Loser of the week for me is, even though they're big winners on paper, is Facebook. Because I genuinely believe that Facebook, if you could zoom out 10 years,
Zooming
Tim.
out the way Tim does, the zoom
I'm
charts.
part of the team.
Zoom
actually.
out. Are you on the board?
All we do is zoom out.
Are you on the
It's
board?
trademarked.
Yeah, I'm on the board, actually. And all you do is zoom out and then you draw your conclusion.
Okay.
And what I would, it's really a two-part process. What I think if you zoomed out, you would see that Facebook is actually the cause of a lot of this divisiveness that is really scary and threatening to the democracy.
Yep.
I think that it's kind of funny to joke about and talk about and whatever, but I think when you really look at like something that is like you can clearly point to and say is fueling the divisiveness and
Yeah.
putting people into these little wormholes of echo chambers, whatever. I think it's Facebook, and I think Zuckerberg does not give a shit, and no one even knows enough to hold him or how you would hold them accountable.
Yep. Agree.
And I think it's scary. And I think that when you see how much, like, one thing that I heard on a podcast this week is that Russia and China, for example, are in on Facebook. Like, China has spent money exaggerating the stories on Facebook and stuff or wherever that show how bad the coronavirus is. Like, they want to instill fear in us. They're playing games with us,
Yeah.
and people are being manipulated.
Yeah.
And people that just sit on Facebook all day and that's where they take their news are not only being manipulated just by like clickbaiters, but you're being manipulated by Russia and China. And
Yeah.
their only goal, as it was explained on this show, is to just make democracy look bad.
Yeah,
They
of
don't
course.
care so much who wins. It's not like, oh, we want Trump to win because we're going to backdoor and Trump's going to be blah, blah, blah. It's just, if you make America look bad,
Like we're a mess.
yeah, then they get to say, see, should have done it our way.
Yeah.
Should have had a Putin.
And that's
Yeah.
how you control your citizens.
Yeah.
Because then the average Chinese person's probably looking
I'm
in
glad
China like, America,
Do you know how many Chinese people are probably like, I love it here.
Yeah.
I don't
Like-
want that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That works for them.
Until you go to a camp.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, we have summer camp this year.
Yeah, for real. Who's that? Retail Chinese person? Okay. All right. Content.
My content is a podcast I did on Detour, and I think it's extremely important for young people.
Yep.
It's about etiquette. It's about etiquette in the
that.
social media world on how to communicate with people, how to talk to people,
Yeah.
how to put a calendar notice when you're having a meeting, just like the basics.
So like, yo fam, let's link. That works or no?
That
Let's
does not
build?
work.
Yo fam, let's build in the DM.
I just think there's such a opportunity for young people to learn how to. I grew up in an era where you had to. It was all done in person, and then it became digital, and then it became social media, and like along the way, we've lost basic. I would honestly call it respect on how you communicate with people.
Yeah.
And I think teaching the next generation how to do that will only help them.
I was thinking a lot of ways like hierarchies and stuff like that can be bad, but I think that in a lot of ways they're good, like knowing how to speak to someone and
Yes.
kind of work your way. And I think that social media kind of flattens that a little
Yeah.
bit, which in a lot of ways is good. But I think when you can,
I'm
holler
okay with
at-
the access, with the flattening of the access. What I struggle with is like a young person who potentially could add a lot of value to someone much senior to them or some successful person. That person in that seat won't even take the kid seriously if you don't communicate with them properly.
And they have entitlement
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah, because you're right there too.
You're like, yeah, this is mine.
slide in your DMs. Yo fam,
Let's build.
check the follows. Let's build. Anand.
My content, so you could do either one. A writer named Jeff Pearlman, sports writer, released a book called Three Ring Circus, Kobe, Shaq, Phil, and the Crazy Years of the Lakers Dynasty. It came out this week. I'm definitely going to get it and read it. But this writer went on the Ryan Russillo podcast and just started talking about stories from the Kobe years. Man, 2 stories I'm going to share.
Yep.
One good one crazy one. So apparently when they were talking about the psyche of Kobe, how he's just so different and just such a he's almost like a sociopath when it came to basketball, how much he took it seriously. One story, he was 16 years old, working out in Philadelphia, 95-degree summer day, goes to the track, does his sprints, runs, does everything. He kept his car on at full heat with the windows closed. So when he's done with his track workout, he was driving to the weight room in that heat and didn't want to lose the intensity of his workout. Okay. Like, what 16-year-old thinks like that?
16.
16. And then here's the blockbuster story. If you don't read the book, you don't even want to listen to the podcast, I'll give you the story.
Me. Give me that story.
Okay. The 98 All-Star game, I think it was in New York, and Kobe Bryant, this player on the Nets called Jason Williams, who most people probably never heard of, but he was big at the time.
White Jason Williams.
Black Jason Williams.
Okay.
Charles Oakley, who people probably have heard of because of some of the controversy with the Knicks. He got kicked out of the stadium.
Yep.
And Donald Trump are in an elevator.
It sounds like the beginning of a bad joke.
Yeah.
Walk into a bar.
So Jason Williams was the veteran at the time. Kobe's the young up-and-coming star. Jason Williams says, "What up, Kobe?" And Kobe shines him in the elevator. Jason Williams starts beating the shit out of Kobe Bryant in the elevator, and Donald Trump breaks up the fight. How insane is that?
What a great man.
Sounds like a leader.
Yeah. He should share that story.
He should. He probably forgot it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that story's in the book and on the podcast, and I was blown away.
What's the book called?
Three Ring Circus.
Okay.
And there's
On
other
it.
Kobe stories that are just insane.
Gosh. Okay. Mine is a documentary. There's a lot of craziness going on in the world. Shit seems really serious. If you want to just loosen up, you want some lighthearted, absolutely absurd content, there's a documentary on Netflix called My Octopus Teacher.
Wow.
Anand, I hear you laughing. I'm telling you.
Is this the next social
Go
dilemma?
back to the fucking Bucks, man.
And no, you know what? You asked me to stop reading, and I did. And you
This
know
is
what I
what you
found?
did.
My Octopus Teacher.
I'd rather
I can't
hear
learn
Dee's-
from books. I'm learning from octopi.
I'd rather hear Dee's fucking flight movie suggestions
Sorry,
than
man.
this.
Sorry, you're
What?
not hearing that. You're hearing about My Octopus
Okay,
Teacher.
fine.
Okay, and it is absolutely absurd. I'm not even sure how it made its way to Netflix. I don't know who bought it over there, but it is absurd, and it's about this man who was feeling super lonely and lost in life, and he started doing a little bit of snorkeling, and he found his savior and his teacher for everything that he needed to know about life and how to move forward in an octopus,
Like an actual animal.
an octopi.
And you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it.
You sat through the whole thing?
That's Netflix's strategy, by the way. Put as much content on the flywheel because there's an octopi lover.
Here I am. I didn't even know.
Guess we're
And
doing this for Halloween.
I'm an octopi. Yeah, because who knew they were so compassionate, you know?
Oh, my God.
You won't know until you watch it. So check it out. If you want to just unwind, turn off CNN, turn off the news, turn on my octopi teacher.
Okay. I like it.
Okay. That's all we got, right? Any shout outs?
No, I don't believe. The other one was a correction on a later date.
Great. We don't have time anyway. So listen.
Just kidding. Amy Black, happy birthday from Chicago, Illinois. Happy 28th birthday to her cousin CJ Fields. Both of us are longtime listeners and look forward to talking about the pod every week. Love you guys. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday out in
Happy
Chicago.
birthday.
Good note in the chat. Keep in mind, we're live streaming every Thursday on Twitch, Group Chat Pod. Somebody said they should have a Winners Losers Hall of Fame.
I like that.
I agree. Maybe we'll add that to the future studio.
Yeah, that is a good idea.
Okay, so speaking of which, Group Chat Pod, we're there every Thursday.
Could we scroll up to the top real quick, Tim? The combo? I think there's an important comment that was made immediately when we started the stream today.
Oh, yeah.
That I'd like to give a lot of notice to.
Okay.
What's that?
And I'll just say now, you guys can just go ahead and F off.
I don't see
What?
it. What up, group
What?
chat?
You came in real hot, and we don't even see.
I'm covered in Menlo drip thanks to Pete's ads.
Oh.
And all caps, too! No caps!
So
Why
know
are you
that
yelling
person.
at us, JC Martinez?
You want you to know my ad!
I think Pete has an alter ego on Twitch.
Pete just logged on to Twitch. and wrote
Yeah, that sounds like
All
a
of a
cousin.
sudden,
That sounds like a cousin.
The moment we go live, there's an all caps shout out to Pete.
Shut up, Pete, shut up, Pete.
Just couldn't wait to get that off.
Wow, we
Seems
have-
a little fishy. Seems like a
You know what?
EDD scam.
The Cathys out there, they love me.
Okay.
Why? Because I'm one of them.
We'll see, man. You're the only one out in the streets. That's for damn sure. Have you got spit on yet?
No, nobody's
This
spit on me
weekend.
yet. This weekend I will be semi-active.
Let's hear where
Let's
you
see where
going.
you're going.
I don't
so
know.
we can
Yeah,
send
yeah.
people
See
there.
you.
Coast,
point.
Coastal Boys are in Texas, so I'm off on my own this weekend.
Oh, so what are the potential options?
Not many. I'm going to end up probably at Run Club. Well, can we talk about that?
You want to help him?
I know I just said it, but we can
did.
really
You're just gonna stay on the
You are
west side.
going for a run.
I'm
in Santa
going for a
Monica.
run Saturday with a small group of people over in Santa Monica. After that, might catch some brunch with maybe some of those people. Other than that, really nothing.
So are you gonna drive to the run?
Yes.
So you can't get tanked.
Oh, no, I can still get tanked. Oh, yeah, I probably will get tanked.
Drive back?
I'm not asking.
Oh,
any
no,
questions.
not in the morning. What are you asking?
All
you
right,
saying
let's wrap
hungover?
this up.
All right, listen. Group Chat Pod on Twitch, Group Chat Pod on Instagram, Group Chat on Twitter, newsletter, which Anand was a guest author of, which
Yes.
is pretty sick, is back. That is at melrosestreetjournal.com.
Yeah.
Sorry, we got a lot of assets here.
Yeah.
melrosestreetjournal.com is also where we post all the articles and everything from the shows.
Behind closed doors. Anand forced me into buying Datadog yesterday on Behind Closed Doors.
Yeah, we're playing chess over here while Tim's playing checkers.
I bet my $100 performs better than his 1,000.
All right, there we go.
I think
All right.
Portnoy's just intimidated. That's why he's not posting as
Yeah,
much.
he
He
heard.
knows there's some fresh blood on the scene.
Heard the rumblings. Okay. All right, guys. Well, that's it. Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week.